Hey there, everyone. It is John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur here, coming at you tonight. This is Thursday, March 17th, and it's great to be with you. So, if you are new to my channel, well, welcome. Every single week, we have a completely new series. And in that series, every day, we have a specific topic that we talk about. So, if you take your phone and scan that QR code, it's going to direct you to my link tree. If you're having any problems getting to my link tree, I'm going to tell you how to get there easily. Just go to linktr.ee/JOHNCMORLEY. Serial Entrepreneur, SERIALENTREPRENEUR. And that'll give you all the stuff that I'm involved in as it constantly changes and evolves. All right. What is our specific topic? We've been talking about how and why time is important. So, what are we actually going to talk about tonight? Well, we're going to talk about time as well. You know where else time is important, ladies and gentlemen? Time is very important when it comes to the kitchen. Yes. Time in recipes, right? If you're cooking something. So if you are to, I don't know, let's say make a cake, or if you're even doing, let's say you're making jello, or you're making pudding, like, instant pudding or chocolate pudding, you need to understand that time is crucial. Right? First thing you do to make chocolate pudding is pretty easy. You stir together either the package or the sugar, the cocoa, the cornstarch, and salt in a large bowl, and you stir in the milk. And then after that, you'll heat it up until the mixture comes to a full boil, stirring for every 2 minutes, and stir in butter and vanilla, and pour in dishes and serve as directed. So the question everyone asks you is, how long does it take for chocolate pudding mix to set? Well, that's a great question. So when you're working with chocolate pudding, you have 1 hour. Okay. But how long does it take for Jello to set? Well, that's a lot faster, ladies and gentlemen. Jello will start to set. They say 2 to 4 hours, but to be honest with you, Jello starts setting in just a few minutes. Again, it's not fully set, but it starts to set. So time is really important, ladies and gentlemen, when we talk about the kitchen, right? How about baking a cake? How long does it take to bake a cake? Typically, like a small cake could be 35 to 40 minutes, roughly. Why is this important? Well, because if you don't understand time, you can undercook your meal, you could overcook your meal, right? Let's take scallops, for example, right? Does anybody know how to cook scallops? How do you cook scallops in the oven? Let's talk about that for a moment. So cooking scallops in the oven can be done at like around, roughly, you can set your oven around 425, right? If you undercook scallops, well, you got to be careful because you can get all kinds of internal infections, and so that would be really, really bad. And so, an easy way to cook scallops, you can pan sear them. However, I don't think that's the healthiest way to do it. My favorite way to do it, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be in the oven. So, the first thing you have to know before you can do anything is, what temperature are you setting your oven to cook scallops, right? So you can do seared scallops. We talked about seared scallops. You can also do baked scallops, right? So the oven, the temperature for oven baked scallops, okay, is right around 400 degrees. So you want to preheat the oven, and your scallops will take anywhere from 5 to 8.5 minutes. When your scallops get rid of that pink color and they become a little translucent, your scallops are done. You don't want to let them go too long because what's going to happen is they're going to become like rubber and mud, and that's not going to be fun. But you don't want to undercook them either. So time is really important, right? In the kitchen, if we're making dinner, maybe how about if even we're doing eggs? There's a certain amount of time before you have to flip your omelet or stir or things like that. So these little things might seem like nothing, but time is actually very, very important. Again, it's a common denominator to holding things together. How about time for making a cup of tea? If you have an Insta-Hot like I do, you put the water in, but you have to leave it in there for a couple of minutes. You have to dunk the tea bag. That's time, right? When we think of time, maybe we're thinking about the kitchen and we're saying, well, gee, we need to let it simmer for 2 to 4 minutes, right? So we have to know about our heat, our temperature, and we have to know about time. When we are using a typical recipe, we're going to follow it. But if we have to change the recipe, it may not always be the same cooking instructions or cooking times. So we usually have to, have a little bit of trial and error. Times are set so that you can actually achieve the same result every time you do it. So in order to cook efficiently, you have to use the right ingredients, measure them the exact same way. You need to make sure that you take the time to do that properly. In the French, we call it mise en place. Mise en place is when you pre-measure everything out, put them into little ramekins, and then they're all ready to go. You don't have to be measuring while you're actually cooking. And then you need to preheat your oven before you do that. And then you need to cook your item for a certain amount of time, right? If you do not do that, you will have a disaster. You'll have a disaster. Let's talk about bacon. How long does it take to cook bacon? Let's think about that. How long because most people will broil bacon, right? How long does it take? Well, you will broil bacon for about 5 minutes. Okay. How long does it take to, let's say, cook bacon in the microwave? How long does that take? Well, to cook it in the microwave takes about 3 to 6 minutes. So it's pretty close. The thing about the oven or the broiler, when you think about bacon, if you let it get a little bit past that 5 minutes, well, you're going to get scored bacon. If you let it go a minute past that, you might have a potential grease fire. So time is really important, not just to have good food, but to have safely cooked food, right? We set timers all the time, either over our stove or we use a manual timer or we tell Siri to set a timer, right? We can do something as simple like, hey, Siri, set a timer for
How long?
and she'll ask you for how long if I didn't say the amount. And so time is something that we may not always know, especially when we're learning or building a recipe. We might have to play around with temperature and time. But time and temperature are the key factors in addition to the ingredients and the amount of the ingredient to assuring you get the same outcome every single time you prepare. Sounds pretty easy, doesn't it? So, where else is time used in our life? Well, it's used a lot of places. Do you know another place where time is used, ladies and gentlemen? It's used in, where else is time used? Time is used in measurement. We talked about that, right? For the Olympics. But you know that time is also used in factory. They use time wheels. Some of the older cars they had a time wheel in a car, and that was able to help to know when it was getting back to a certain point and what to do. Old car washes used time, right? The new car washes use time a little bit differently. The new car washes actually use pulses. So when a car comes in, they will start measuring with a little LED or laser. So it'll start reading when the car comes in, and then when it hits the end, it will basically stop. So it knows how many pulses the car is, because some cars can be shorter, some cars can be longer. Once we figure that out, now we're able to put that in the computer system, which runs the car wash automatically, and it knows how long this car is and when to start certain things and for how long. That happens with time. So if you guys have not already gathered how important time is this week, tomorrow you definitely will understand, because I'm going to bring it all back home and I'm going to tie in some pieces of time that you in your lives cannot afford to pay attention to. Ladies and gentlemen, please do like, support, love the video, comment about it, share it out to everyone you know after you've tagged your friends, colleagues, and associates. And then go to my YouTube channel, John Space C Space Morley Space Serial Entrepreneur, and look for the key phrase, help keep our content free. Once you've done that, make the choice to buy my team and I a cup of coffee by clicking on the link and buy my team a cup of coffee. And we'll be so grateful with those pennies and dollars. We'll invest into hardware, new technology, new equipment, new software, and even new facilities to give you the most jaw-dropping motivational content. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I am John C. Morley, Serial Entrepreneur. I'll be back Friday, which is March 18th. I hope you guys all had a wonderful St. Patrick's Day. Didn't have too much of the Irish fare, whether you had bangers or all kinds of other stuff, or maybe you had some other things. Mark, I see we've got our little X-rated guy here. He's going to block him. Thank you so much for definitely doing that. And I have to tell you, I just laugh at these people. I'm really a nice person, but when I see people that put this crap in the comments section, we block them. And we can just hope that someday maybe their accounts will be disabled, or maybe they'll get a clue. But I got to tell you, you guys are very low. And for Mark and Matt, my other moderators, to have to block you, I don't know. I have to say that you guys are disrespectful. And if you're not a bot, then I'd say you're scum, to be honest, because you're acting like a bot. And I wish there were really heavy fines for people that abused bots for things they shouldn't be doing. So tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to talk about the conclusion of how and why time is important. And on Saturday, we'll kick off a brand new series with new titles for new specific topics every single day. I hope you have a great rest of your night or morning. I'll see you back tomorrow, Friday. And again, I hope you had a great St. Patrick's Day. And, well, it's not top anymore, but I'd say top of the morning, or shall we say bottom of the evening to you. But I hope it was a great day for you. And remember, time is the key element that might just propel you to becoming a success. Have a great night, everyone.